Hi ladies and gentlemen, today is March 4th, 2017, and hopefully there are demonstrations in DC today in support of Donald Trump, and I hope across the country. So you may ask, why am I not participating? Well, I have my reasons, that's all I can say. But I lend my 100% support to everyone who's out there doing this to show that Americans want to get rid of these evil New World Order, deep state people that are trying to steal the will of the people and really ruin our lives and the world's as well. And I felt like I needed to put this video up because a lot of things are happening. On Twitter, it's been going nuts over this whole thing with the shadow government and former President Obama, now president of the shadow government. The whole thing with him using DOJ to fund radicals and violent extremists, ISIS even, also the drug cartels, etc., etc., all these gangs, Black Lives Matter, on and on and on. The Fannie Mac thing where he took funds from there to shore up Obamacare, major illegal thing to do, and very, very stupid, actually. And then finally, of course, the thing with OFA, his group, where he's trying to actually use it to subvert our constitutional republic and to unseat Trump. So all of this is going on, and it's just gotten to the point where I'm watching all of this happen. Former Navy SEAL Matt Bracken has talked for some time now, as have I, that this is going to probably turn into a shooting war. Trump needs to act. I understand he doesn't want to overreact, but he can't fail to act either. Not now. I see that this now has arrived at a location where it is a clear and present danger what Obama and the deep state are doing. They have people behind Obama solidly, leftist, Marxist, deep state people who want to destroy the constitutional republic so they can take control and power. And then you have the side with Trump. And I'm not going to sit here and say I know what the ratio is. I don't know. But all the indications are there right now that Obama would not have gone this far unless he had someone behind him, first of all, and obviously, and second of all, that he has a number of courses of action planned out based on different contingencies. And I can guarantee you that at this point, one of those is a shooting war if they don't get what they want. The leftist Marxists do not understand reason and logic. They don't have an appreciation for the perfect law of liberty, the gospel. Even the Old Testament was about that. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's the perfect law of liberty. They don't have that. Theirs is force. Theirs is, we're going to make you do the right thing, what they think is the right thing. Do you see that? The other side, that's the constitutional republic. That's the perfect law of liberty. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the idea of individual liberty. Okay? You can have concerted efforts, but that's by agreement, not by force. So we're at a dangerous time right now, extremely dangerous, and I hope that you all understand that. We're probably not going to be, the little people like us are probably not going to be involved in this fight. This is going to be an interagency thing to begin with. People within agencies probably starting, to fight each other literally with weapons, and then it'll spread. And the entire government will divide up into two sides. Most of us are going to be concerned more with what's happening close at home. We're going to have to be concerned with leftist Marxists out there in their droves, gangs, thugs, criminals, all of those types of people, ISIS, taking advantage of the chaos. That's what we're going to have to protect ourselves against. So, get your supplies together and try to make arrangements with the local authorities, see if they're going to go along with you. So many of them have been infiltrated, but like Sheriff David Clark, there are some good ones out there, so we just got to find them. Governor Abbott of Texas, for instance. I don't trust a whole lot of what's left in the country these days. But anyway, you see where I'm going with this. So we are in a situation of a clear and present danger, and Trump can't fail to act at this point. It's that serious. I was going to get into some other details, but there's no sense in making a long video on this. I think you get the point. I did want to bring up that occasionally, spiritually, we do have to react in a physical way. Words, there come a time when they don't work anymore. And the perfect example of that is in the New Testament, when Jesus finally realized that there's no more trying to be conciliatory with these people. There's no longer any chance of reasoning and logic or anything. And he took a whip and he went in there and he beat the money changers that are today's bankers, deep state, New World Order, those types of people. Physical, because that's all they understood. Nothing else will they understand. Not reason, not logic, not patience, nothing. Only force. We're at that position. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. Even in the population, you see this division happening. It's there. There are those who have the perfect law of liberty written in their hearts and in their minds on the one side, and then you have these leftist Marxists who want force, who want to be the dictators on the other, not to allow your liberties. We're there. So I wanted to bring that up, and I have one other thing. And I've talked about this before, and a lot of people consider me sexist for it. Well, I'm sorry, but, well, actually, I'm not sorry. Look, from the very beginning, Hillel ben Shakar, who you know as Lucifer, and I've made videos about this off and on, his war was with woman. Okay? And I'm not going to go into the whole existential and philosophical and spiritual discussion of that as to why. I'm just going to state it here that that's a fact. And everything that Hillel ben Shakar has done has been to try to destroy, corrupt, degrade, kill, murder women. That's what he does. It's been that way throughout history, starting with the second chapter of Genesis on. Okay? Really the third, but you get the point. All right, look. What am I getting to? Look at all this gender-neutral stuff that's going on around the world, and the push to have the age of consent for kids to have sex down to 12, and they'll probably get it down lower than that if they get their way. These pedophiles and these perverts. You see the transgender bathrooms and the big push for transgender rights and all of this stuff. In other words, to take men and women and separate them more to where it doesn't exist anymore. It's attacking sex because Lucifer hates sex. He doesn't get to, involve himself in that. That's a godly thing. That's in the image of God. And Christians are going to throw their hands up and go, oh, no, that was the original sin. No, it wasn't. That's why we're in so much trouble, because the church itself has taught the wrong thing, has pushed this idea that the male-female relationship is something disgusting and a necessary evil, and that's not the case at all. That's how Lucifer attacked it. What happened in the Garden of Eden? It was Lucifer, right, that was in there causing all this trouble, and then Adam and Eve all of a sudden become embarrassed by their what? Their reproductive power. They became embarrassed by it. Don't you see that? Lucifer says, hey, go run, hide yourselves. God's coming, He's going to see that you realize that you have this ability to reproduce, that you're naked. That's what that really means. And when God came, he says, why are you hiding? And they said, well, because we found out we were naked and we went to cover ourselves because now we know that we can have this relationship. And God said, who told you this? Not that he was against the relationship, but the embarrassment of it. Why did it cause shame in you? Do you see that? Yes, it has to be dealt with carefully and with love and emotion and respect. But it's not evil. And Lucifer is destroying it. Hillel ben Shakar. So, what am I getting at? the feminist movement. Right to work, same pay, all that's fine. But trying to make men and women the same is Lucifer's plan. Gender neutral is Lucifer's plan. Sweden, just now, after years of denying conscription, have reinstituted conscription. A country that allows foreigners to come in there that are totally opposite to its culture and rape its women and say that, oh, that's okay because that's their cultural responsibility, their cultural norm, you know, the Islamic people or whatever. They're not even protecting their women. Why? Because we're back at this thing, destroy the women. They're going to do everything they can do that. Abortion's been about that. Not even about the babies. It's about destroying the woman. That's what it's about. Well, the babies too, of course. But do you see? And we've had all of these things in the United States, you know, even Disney now, you know, the transgender, gay thing, you know, not even showing man and woman relationships. Disney's been actually responsible for that for a long time. If you look at their fairy tales and how they structure or don't structure a family. So Sweden, what has it done? It's now said that their conscription is going to be gender neutral. They're going to grab women and men both. Ladies and gentlemen, there are other countries that are doing that. I'm not going to sit here and name them. And the United States is trying to do it. Okay? Again, to go down this path of destroying the union of men and women. And if you can't see it, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it. There are differences in responsibilities between the sexes. And when it goes too far, trying to dull that, to make it difficult to see, it's wrong. And it's part of the bad side. Sweden is a good example of a bad government and how it's destroying its people. It's turned into that. And the United States is really there too. They're just a little more careful about how they do it here. So, a society that will not protect its women, its daughters, its mothers, and which is really the reason for the state anyway, so that the state can protect those delicate, those I don't want to call them resources. That's really a bad word. You know, I'm almost without a loss because I know that so much of this is going to fall on deaf ears because it's been pushed for so long. Sexual equality and, you know, dress women up as men and men as women. But, you know, putting women in uniform the way they're doing it now, this is very, very bad. I can't even describe how bad it is. I cannot, again, find the words to sound the alarm on how bad this is. I'll just say it again. If we fail to protect our daughters, our women, which is really what the state is about, is protecting that precious thing, we will be destroyed. LGBT, all that's part of it. Lucifer's secret weapon and the destruction of the woman is really the ultimate goal in that.